providers, friends, community. Thank you, everyone, for attending this evening here for our event, Prevention Through Self-Care and Healthy Relationships. We will get started, and we would like to bring forward the National Guard, the Color Guard. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Color Guard. Up, down, forward, forward. Color, over. Left, face. Present, arm. Order. Arm. Right. Face. Forward. Arm.
At holistic education, right? It's not just about what happens in the classroom, it's also about our mental and physical well-being and making sure that you are well prepared to be successful in life beyond high school. As I got a chance to walk around out there and learn about some of the mental health services that are available in our community, which especially with everything we've all gone through as a community over the last several years, there's never a shame or a bad thing in saying that, you know, hey, we need help, we need somebody to talk to. So please go ahead and take advantage of the resources that are here this evening. Know that you can always come to the school counseling office to go ahead and talk to our social worker, our school psychologist, or one of our counselors. Parents, you do not have to wait for your child to come forward. If you have concerns or need help, please reach out to us, let us know, and we will help get you connected with community resources. I, of course, want to thank Ms. Silver and SAD, STV. There are so many organizations involved in going ahead and participating tonight that made this happen. And again, to all of our students and guests that are here with us, thank you so much, and on with the program.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Most. Hello again. I would now like to introduce Angela Ventura from United Way of Broward County. She is the director on the Commission for Behavioral Health and Drug Prevention. Welcome, Angela.
Thank you so much, Alina. Thank you, all of you, for being here today and for all your support. By a show of hands, how many of you have heard about United Way of Broward County? Excellent, yes, because we have amazing teams, and if you haven't heard of that, please check it out in our website, unitedwaybroward.org, because we have amazing teams that make events like this possible. So I want to say thank you to our amazing chairs, Cynthia Tapia Rodriguez and also Pauline, because they really, they have been putting a lot of effort on this, and also all the other organizations. By a show of hands, how many of you are parents? Excellent. I want to tell you about a couple of resources, because United Way and the Commission is all about prevention, and it's all about data, making sure that the community knows that most kids in our community are free of alcohol and other substances, and that they know that alcohol is a drug that impairs the developing brain. So this is wonderful, and we have a couple of resources that I want to highlight today. It's a couple of apps. One of the apps is 211 Broward. How many of you are familiar with 211? Okay, so if you need anything, it's called First Call for Help in Broward County. Download the app, because the app is very useful. It has all the resources that are available in the community at your fingertips. So it's called 211 Broward. And the other app that I want to mention to all of you, for the parents specifically, is called Talk They Hear You. With that, you can rehearse some of the conversations, because I know that the youth are so smart and they know everything, they have everything at their fingertips, but parents need to have important conversations with the teens and with the youth. So you can find resources there, and also you can, under all the different scenarios about having conversations with your teens, you can find also some resources. And one specifically is called Screen for Success. Screen for Success. There are different screens available for mental health, for anxiety, but this screen is specifically when you as a parent have that hunch like something is going on, not only with your children, but even with yourself or with somebody that you know. So Screen for Success is developed by SAMHSA, the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, and it's available, it's free, and you can use it. All right, so with no more delay, thank you so much, and enjoy the event. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Angela, for those lovely words and amazing resources. Again, I just wanted to remind all our young people and families, hopefully by now you've all had an opportunity to visit the vendor tables that are located outside. There's so many resources and support services that Broward County has for everyone here, for young people, families, seniors, everything in between. So there's something for everybody here in Broward County, and we're so grateful, and once again want to thank all our providers and participants for this support. Okay, next up, I see, okay. So next up, we would like to have a student of Hollywood Hills present us with a poem that she will be speaking and sharing with all of you to kind of continue to help open our ceremony here today. So if you would all help me welcome student Crystal Ionescu. She's
There's this book that I've been trying to pick for months. I don't know how or when or why it was placed on me, but it's there and it's here to stay. I've tried everything and nothing to open it, at least a fraction, but it won't budge, won't even make a sound. It's just a heavy weight on me and I've got no muscle. I have no keys to unlock it, I can't even burn it. It's not something you can burn or make disappear or run away from like a father abandons his child or pretend like it doesn't exist. It's just there and it won't open. Hello, roommate, access denied. The lock remains constant. I've clawed my fingernails against it, bloody and broken. I've cursed at it, violently and beautifully like fireworks, but it won't open. I've resorted to all sorts of different tactics and manipulations, self-affirmations. I thought I could be smarter. That clicking sound, the sound of the great unlocking was never heard, and it just won't open. Not even a fraction, not even a sound. Not even if I begged or cried, not even if I played tricks and lied, not even if I died. Why don't I open up to? I can't even open up to me. I'm so locked in, chains paralyze my very body to the earth, that which was supposed to be my foundation, but has only been the cause of my frustration. I can't even mouth the words, my heart aches to be released from me. I've given up on asking for help because no one walks around with salvation keys in their pockets like gold. They can offer a shoulder to cry on, a listening ear, advice to take. They can give you bobby pins or paper clips or something, anything sharp to use, but a lock demands a key, and I just didn't have one to use. Because as confining as this may be, those chains that bind and never break, those words and self-expressions never released with no plan to escape, this lock, this restraining, isolating, sinister lock was forged by none other than me. Bob Marley once said, "Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. Nothing but ourselves can free our minds." So if I can create the greatest, most secure lock in the world, I wonder if I always had the power to forge a key. And so I declare that my mind, held as a slave, is and henceforward shall be free. The lock broke, not with the click, but with the clang, shattered to the floor like ice. I wonder if I always had the power to be my own salvation. This was my emancipation
Okay, great job, Crystal. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts, your lovely poem with us, your words of inspiration. And for that, we have a special thank you for you, and not just for Crystal, but for all other participants. If you're fortunate enough and have received a raffle ticket, if you can maybe grab your raffle ticket just in case, because I think we might do that. I'm not sure if we have the raffles. But first, we have some giveaways. They're called giveaways. Right? Correct. And so first up, I just want to thank again Crystal. Congratulations. You received our first little giveaway of a $10 Starbucks card. All right, so while we look for the other raffle tickets I just want to thank you guys again for being here for this Prevention through Self-Care and Healthy Relationships. So you guys know my name is Alina Shaw. I'm a team leader for prevention services at Memorial Healthcare System. So yes, I work for the healthcare system. However, my team's job is prevention, right? So we work towards substance use prevention as well as teen pregnancy prevention. So we have an amazing team of educators that go out to middle schools, high schools, community settings to help spread the word about substance abuse and reducing the risk and having like healthy behaviors, right? So I know it sounds kind of counterintuitive, but we actually really work towards preventing people from trying to go to the hospital. So we just really want to educate our community and young people how to make like healthy choices so that they can live healthy and happy lives. So, and there's a lot of vendors and providers here that also provide prevention programs that are, comprehensive, dynamic, and designed to promote positive youth development. So, in addition to, wanting kids kids to resist drug, alcohol, tobacco use. The people here and the providers here and school support staff, they really all want to help reduce the risk of like high-risk behaviors, violence, you know. And we encourage and really hope that students can develop skills that enhance your self-esteem, develop problem-solving abilities, reduce stress and anxiety, and manage anger. So these are all like personal self-management skills that takes a lot of developing during this time of adolescence, but also having, you know, good social skills too that you guys are developing right now with overcoming personal challenges that you guys may face on an everyday basis, overcoming shyness, communication skills. I know that maybe even public speaking might be a scary moment for some of you guys, but just really practicing just speaking and knowing that your voice is important and it's good to be heard, whether you speak to just your classmates or your peers or with your family and your parents or your loved ones. That's very important because your voice is important and we want for you guys to be heard. And so continue building healthy relationships with those around you, and you know, avoid things that may cause harm. And so again, there's a lot of skills that young people are crafting and building currently, and you know, you will continue to develop and you may face challenges along the way, but I just really encourage you guys to continue doing your best, and if you need help, it's okay to ask for help, okay? And so with that, again, prevention, we always try to promote the positive health. You know, there's risk factors in life and protective factors, but some good protective factors is healthy eating, exercising, journaling, a lot of self-care things that you guys can do. Another thing for self-care is maybe getting yourself a little coffee treat. So do we have our raffle tickets available to, I guess, Gemma, you want to maybe like let Mr. Most pick a winner? Let's see. Okay, so check your tickets. So our second winner for a $10 Starbucks gift card is 817-481. 817-481. We got a winner! Congrats. Great.
That's just our administration.
Our next winner, and this isn't your only opportunity to win. After our presentations and speakers, we're going to have some more possibilities to win some giveaways, okay? So. Over 10 more prizes after Zumba, okay? Yes, over 10 more prizes, so don't leave. So our next winner here for a $10 Starbucks gift card is 817-632. One number off. 817-632. Come on up. Come on up. Thank you. Congratulations. Yes, and she helped me take stuff and move it, so I appreciate your help. Well earned. Oh. Okay. So we have one more, and then the rest will be for later. Our next winner, 817-540. Is that you? I need the ticket. 81750, I'm sorry. 817540.
Excuse me.
Going once. Do I see any raffles? Okay, we might have to pick another card then. Okay, 817490. 817490. Anybody? No? Okay. We'll try again. We're gonna get a winner. Third time's a charm. They're probably still out there looking at all the amazing vendors that we have. Okay, 817630. Anybody? No? 817630. We have a winner. We need a ticket winner. All right. We're gonna get a winner with this number. I can feel it. We're gonna get a winner. 817450. Wait, we got a winner? 817450. You're lucky day, amiga. Look at that.
Hey, let's go. She's trying to click.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much. All right, so I just want to, again, going to get a drink of coffee at a Starbucks is a healthy way to, is an opportunity to stay healthy, right? It's a self-care method, right? It's a way to make a smart and healthy choice. And even though that this is about, prevention and we want to minimize the risk of alcohol, drugs, we also want to promote the positive and let you guys know that Broward County students are making positive decisions, right? We have positive community norms where statistics show within Broward County, 4 out of 5 Broward County students are already making healthy choices. Please give yourselves a round of applause. Because I'm proud of you guys. Good job. Okay? So, some actual norms and just some more data so that you guys are aware. 2021 Broward County Schools Climate Survey. Over 58,000 students surveyed from 6th to 12th grade. 62%, most Broward County youth know what to do if bullying occurs. 64% of Broward County youth think bullying is wrong. 83% of most Broward County youth believe alcohol is bad for the brain. 91% of Broward County youth believe using drugs is bad for your health. 96% of Broward County youth did not use marijuana. Is this what people are talking about? Is this the narrative in your community? Well, I'd like to think that we continue to promote the positive and look at like the positive things that young people are doing within Broward County, because it's easy for people to criticize, it's easy for people to come and scare and give, you're not doing this right? But we don't want to be mad about we are making good decisions and we are doing positive things. So please always, know that you guys are above making bad choices and bad decisions, and we have data to show that. So, but with that, tonight we have some amazing guests, panelists, and speakers for you all. We will, we're going to move now to kind of our portion where we have some presenters. Okay, we have some fabulous presenters here today. We have basically like 3 presentations for you all. We are going to start with Liz Vera, who's going to share a mindfulness exercise with us. We have members from the Hanley Foundation that are going to do a quick alcohol prevention commercial, and then we're going to have some speakers from Women in Distress to help us learn more. Okay? So without further ado, if you can please welcome Elizabeth Vera.
Thank you so much for having me here in Hollywood Hills High School. I have lived here in Florida for 30 years, and Hollywood was the first city I lived in. So it's always really near and dear to my heart to be here. I'd like to thank the United Way for inviting me to these amazing events. And just being able to help out in the community is a really big deal. Part of staying positive is sometimes getting out of yourself and doing things for other people. We get stuck in our heads thinking about things that are happening to us, but if we can find a way to do a tiny thing, smile at a baby, wave at a stranger, say hi or thank you to somebody at Publix, it makes a huge difference in your own mindset and well-being. So I invite you to do something silly. Something silly can make you feel good. And right now, I'm going to invite you to join me for a mindfulness practice. Ukiyo is the Japanese word for moment-to-moment awareness. And the words that are common right now, mindfulness, everybody gets confused. There's things out there like meditation and yoga, but mindfulness is really just about pressing the pause button on whatever's happening in your life. But most importantly, on your thoughts. How many of you have like rampant thoughts? You wake up in the morning and you're thinking about all the things you have to do, or where you're going. If you're a student, catching the bus, or is your ride going to be ready? So mindfulness is one of those easy tools that you can use to take control of your health. So I'm going to invite you to do a mindfulness meditation with me right now for gratitude. Because studies show that if you are grateful for one thing in your life, whether it's big or small, whether it's a person, whether it's the meal you had or a snack or a compliment somebody gave you, if you can find something to be thankful for, your mindset can change. And you can improve your health. Harvard University in Boston, anybody heard of that place? They've been doing a study on happiness for over 75 years. And what they found was that happy people, their happiness, what it comes down to, is relationships. But your relationship with yourself is the most important relationship that you have. We forget about ourselves, right? So with this meditation, you're going to have a chance to connect to your body, connect to your breath, and maybe connect to somebody that you want to reach out to or something to be grateful for, okay? So if you're feeling safe right now and comfortable in the room, I'm going to invite you to close your eyes. If that's difficult for you, you're more than welcome to just close your eyes about 50%, just so you can blur all the lights and the chairs around you and just begin to take a journey into yourself right now, okay? So I'm going to ask you to just be still. If you can, put your hands on your lap. If your hands are on your lap, your shoulders relax. And with your shoulders relaxed, now your neck relaxes. With your neck relaxed, the muscles on your face can also relax. So just begin to breathe slowly and deeply. I like something called a 5-6-7 breath. 5-6-7, if there's any dancers here, that's easy to remember, right? So we're gonna breathe in for 5 seconds. So slowly and deeply breathe in for 5 seconds. And you can just count them in your head. I'm not even gonna say them out loud because everybody counts differently. But just breathe in to the count of 5. Breathe in and begin now. And hold that breath. Hold it for 6. And now slowly begin to exhale. If you're counting, you're doing that for 7 seconds, okay? And we're gonna do that again, some variation of that. Sometimes when we put too many rules in our minds, we don't get to focus and do the thing that we're supposed to be doing. So let's take a few more breaths just like that. Breathing in, holding the breath, and breathing out. We'll do 3 more just like that. Breathe in, hold that breath, and then begin to breathe out. We have another one. Breathe in, hold it at the top, and breathe out. Now if you're feeling the seat in your chair, your feet on the ground, you can return to your normal breath. Just breathing slowly and deeply. We don't think about our breath. We never do that, right? But this is allowing that to happen right now. So just breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. If you find that you're comfortable, you can just focus on your breath right now. Breathing in slowly and deeply, perhaps feeling your tension melting away right now. And with every breath, with every inhale, with every exhale, feeling yourself relax more and more deeply. And maybe now you're beginning to feel yourself in a deeper state of relaxation. Continue to breathe slowly and gently as you bring your awareness now to the top of your head. And really feel into the space right at the top of your head. And visualize now a warm, loving, golden light at the top of your head. And now begin to feel this warm light washing down over you, over your face and shoulders, chest and belly, over your legs, fingertips, down to your knees, shins, ankles and feet, all the way down to your toes. Feel all your muscles relax. Maybe tap into feeling protected right now by this warm light. And as you take a few more deep breaths, feel yourself calm and relaxed. In this safe, relaxed state now, reflect on some things you might be grateful for. Maybe a compliment someone paid you recently. Maybe a meal or snack. Perhaps the breath in your lungs. Or the sunshine you took in today. Invite anything good that comes to mind right now. And as each of these objects of gratitude appears in your mind, visualize yourself saying thank you to at least one. Maybe picture a person you're grateful for standing in front of you. And now say to them how grateful you are that they are in your life. Try to make this image of this person as real as you can. See their hair, see their face. Taste that last delicious snack you had and say thank you to this snack. If you're having a difficult time coming up with things to be grateful for, then you can ask God, a higher power, or the highest, best part of yourself to reveal it to you. Anything at all that you can feel grateful for. And allow this feeling of deep gratitude to come into your body now. Notice where this feeling of gratitude is on your body. Are you feeling it in your hands? Are you feeling it in your heart? Is it like a warm hug? As you connect to your body, find the feeling, and maybe even name the body part. Take a few deep breaths now, and allow this feeling to expand. Enjoy the pleasant feeling that gratitude gives you, and feel it wash away any tension and negativity. Allow yourself to remain in this relaxed state as long as you'd like now. If you find that it's difficult, just return to the breath. You can even just say to yourself, breathe in and breathe out. I'll remain silent for the next few cycles of breath, just to give yourself a little more time. When you're ready, you can end your gratitude meditation with this simple affirmation. Thank you for the many blessings I have been bestowed with. May these blessings multiply. I hope to continue to notice and give thanks for the big and little things. And when you're ready, you can begin to wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers. If you've closed your eyes, slowly open them again. And remember to end with a smile. A smile that you feel on your lips and on your heart. I see a couple of you smiling. Remember to take a snapshot of this feeling so that you can remember what it feels like and so that you can practice this at home. Okay? And this is a good one to do at night when you're going to sleep. Thank you so much for having me today. I hope you enjoyed that.
Thank you, Liz. That was wonderful. I'm grateful that you shared that message with all of us, and hopefully we can add that into our self-care toolbox to be grateful for the things around us and really embrace that feeling of happiness. Thank you for that. Next up, we have a presentation from the Hanley Foundation for Alcohol Prevention. I think Mr. Miles is here to share with us. Mr. Miles, let's give it up for Mr. Miles. Mr. Miles.
His laptop is the one that's hooked up.
All right, so good evening, everybody. Again, my name is Mr. Miles. In the back, I have my coworker, Ms. Aisha. Ms. Aisha, you can wave hello. So we are the Hanley Foundation. We are in over 30 counties in the state of Florida. We are the largest prevention provider in the state of Florida. Me and Ms. Aisha have the privilege of working here in Broward County. So we go to middle schools and high schools all across the county, and we just give you the facts as it pertains to certain substance abuse. We also teach a very amount of different skills as life skills go. And one of our most popular programs is the Alcohol Literacy Challenge. Just a show of hands, how many think that alcohol is a drug? Raise your hand if you think that alcohol is a drug. About half the room. Just out of curiosity, what do you think determines something as a drug? What makes something a drug? It's addictive, absolutely.
Inadequacy. Do you suffer from shyness? Do you?
What else? Someone in the back? Something that can impair you, absolutely. Okay. It could absolutely make you drunk, right? So addicting affects your cognitive ability, right? And also affects your mood. All three things that alcohol does, right? So I just want you guys to listen to this video really quick. I know we've never seen those videos when they talk about drugs and it goes really, really fast. And they try to do that intentionally so you don't miss all of the very important things. So I just want you to listen to this video.
Do you have feelings of inadequacy? Do you suffer from shyness? Do you sometimes wish you were more assertive? If you answered yes to any of these questions, ask your doctor or pharmacist about tequila. Tequila is the safe, natural way to feel better and more confident about yourself and your actions. Tequila can help ease you out of your shyness and let you tell the world that you're ready and willing to do just about anything. You'll notice the benefits of tequila almost immediately. And with a regimen of regular doses, you can overcome any obstacles that prevent you from living the life you want to live. Shyness and awkwardness will be a thing of the past, and you'll discover many talents you never knew you had. Stop hiding and start living with tequila. Tequila may not be right for everyone. Women who are pregnant or nursing should not use tequila. However, women who wouldn't mind nursing or becoming pregnant are encouraged to try it. Side effects may include dizziness, nausea, vomiting, incarceration, erotic lustfulness, loss of motor control, loss of clothing, loss of money, loss of virginity, delusions of grandeur, headache, dehydration, dry mouth, and a desire to sing karaoke and play all-night rounds of strip poker, truth or dare, and naked twister. Warning, the consumption of alcohol may make you think you're whispering when you're not, may cause you to tell your friends over and over again that you're in love with them, also may cause you to think you can sing. Alcohol may lead you to believe that ex-lovers are really dying for you to telephone them at 4 in the morning. Alcohol may make you think you can logically converse with members of the opposite sex without spitting. It may create the illusion that you are tougher, smarter, faster, and better looking than most people. And it may lead you to think people are laughing with you. Alcohol may cause pregnancy. And it also may be a major factor in getting your ass kicked. So what are you waiting for? Stop hiding and start living with tequila.
Right? A lot of truth in that, right? Right? So one of our main things that we focus on when we talk about the alcohol literacy challenge is the mental versus the physical, right? So a lot of people believe that they have to drink in order to become certain things, right? If I drink alcohol, I'm gonna be more attractive, which is not a thing, right? If I drink, I'm going to be more cool, I'm gonna be more outgoing, I'm gonna be more funny. And unfortunately, a lot of people, especially guys around you guys' age, you lack social skills, right? You lack self-esteem, lack confidence at times, right? So just because you believe that those things are going to happen is not necessarily the truth. If anything, they're far, far from the truth, right? And unfortunately, a lot of times people end up making those decisions and they end up regretting it after, right? So again, thank you for your time. We are the Hanley Foundation.
Thank you, Miles. Thank you, Aisha. Thank you, Hanley Foundation, for sharing that. Next up, we want to welcome Women in Distress. Joanne and Aileen will be sharing a presentation for us. And then I just also want to remind our guests here to feel free, if you have any questions, to kind of keep those in mind, because at the end of their presentation, we will open it up to any questions that the audience may have. So feel free to think of any questions that you may have, whether it's for our speaker Liz, for the Hanley Foundation, for us, or Women in Distress. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce Joanne and Aileen.
Okay, hello everyone. How are we doing tonight? Yes, are we enjoying today's event? Love it, I can hear the excitement. Good, okay, so we are going to have an amazing presentation for you all today. My name is Joanne Dominguez. I am the lead education and prevention specialist at Women in Distress of Broward County.
You getting it restarted here?
And my name is Nadine Morera, and I am a prevention specialist at Women in Distress. Okay, and today we are going to be talking to you all about domestic violence. We're going to be talking to you all about teen dating violence. So before we get started, I do want to give a little bit of a content warning. Because we are talking about relationships, we are talking about friendships, the connections that we have to other people, and we want to acknowledge that that can be a little awkward sometimes to talk about, to listen to about. So if at any moment you feel uncomfortable by anything that you see on the screen, anything that you hear us discuss, anything that comes to your mind, that is totally okay. It's all right to feel uncomfortable. Do whatever it is you need to do in that moment. If you are feeling some sort of discomfort, to take care of yourself. If you need to step out, take a deep breath, right? Some of those wonderful mindfulness exercises that we did at the beginning. Really take that time to be mindful of yourself, your emotions, and know it's okay to feel uncomfortable. And we'll get through this together. So, at Women in Distress, we are a domestic violence agency in Broward County, and we offer services to everybody. I know our name is Women in Distress, however, our mission is to stop domestic abuse for everyone through education, intervention, and advocacy. And we really focus on offering these services to everybody because violence, abuse can happen to any single person in our community. It doesn't matter your age, it doesn't matter if you've had a lot of relationships, if it's your first relationship, if you just focus on your friendships, your connection with yourself, it can happen to anybody, so that's why we're really here to raise awareness. Especially February is Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month, so we really want to raise that awareness for everybody. So, what we are going to do is, as all of this is getting set up, you can see our beautiful, wonderful images that we worked so hard on. So, our mission, again, you'll notice the word everyone is highlighted in red. I really want to emphasize, if everything we talk about today, right, does not directly relate to you, that's amazing. It could apply to someone you know. So, everything we learned today, if you can't directly relate to it, please be sure to take something because you can always be that supportive person for someone else in their lives. So we are going to start off with a little bit of a Q&A, right? A little true and false. So I'm going to put a question on the screen. I'll also say it out loud. And I just want everyone to, you can just yell it out, say true or false, okay? So, number 1, true or false, alcohol, drug use, and anger management issues are all major causes of domestic violence. What do we think, true or false? True, okay, I'm hearing the majority of you say true. Okay, this is actually false. So, when we talk about alcohol, drug use, anger management issues, they can happen at the same time as domestic violence. They can happen at the same time as abuse, but they are completely separate, independent problems, right? Alcohol and drug use can increase the potential of violence happening. Alcohol and drug use can make a situation more extreme, more aggressive, but it is not the cause of the abuse. Same with anger management. It can happen at the same time. It can make a situation worse. It can make a situation more extreme. But anger management issues are not the cause of abuse. When we talk about domestic violence, teen dating violence, any sort of abuse, the true cause of why it happens is power and control. Domestic violence, teen dating violence, abuse, happens when one person wants power and control over another person. So these issues can make the situation worse, but it's not why it happens. Let's try another one. So, most people will end a relationship if it becomes abusive. True or false? False. Okay, there we go. All right, it's working. All right, so I'm hearing a lot of you say false. Okay, all right, good job. Yes, this is absolutely false. So on average, it takes someone 7 different tries to break up and get out of an abusive relationship. That's a lot of tries if you really think about it. And there's so many different reasons why someone stays in an abusive relationship. Fear, right? Feeling like they might not be believed, feeling like they're going to be blamed and it's their fault when abuse is never, ever the victim's fault, and feeling like they don't have access to resources. They might not even know those resources exist. So this is where you can come in with this knowledge and help someone that you know. Okay, let's do one more. So, true or false? Perfect. Teen dating violence happens at the same rate as domestic violence in adult relationships. I'm seeing some truths and I'm hearing some false, so we got some mixed answers in this room. Okay, so the answer to this is true. Yeah, so one thing to keep in mind is abuse, violence can happen to anybody. It doesn't matter how young you are, how old you are. It doesn't matter if it's your first relationship, if it's a situationship. It doesn't matter if you've been in a committed relationship, right? Your experience is valid, and it can happen at the same rate as adult relationships. So, especially for these adults in the room, that's where we really want to be supportive of our youth, right? Letting them know that we are here to offer that support and that they deserve happy, healthy relationships. All right, so moving on. As I said, at Women in Distress, we really focus on offering our services to everybody, and this is because intimate partner violence crosses all boundaries of culture, age, race, sex, gender identity, socioeconomic status. Basically, it can happen to anybody by anybody. And when we're talking about intimate partner violence, domestic violence, what does it really mean? We can hear those words a lot, but we want to learn what they actually mean. So, intimate partner violence, which is a broad term for both domestic violence and dating violence, is a pattern of abusive behaviors where one person is trying to get that power and control over another person. So that abusive partner wants to control the way someone thinks, the way someone acts, and the way someone feels. Now, a lot of times, this unequal power dynamic starts because one person in that partnership begins feeling a sense of entitlement, begins to feel that I deserve something more, I am owed something more because I am now in this partnership. I'm your girlfriend now, so I get to check your phone every single day at school to see who you're texting. I'm your partner now, so I get to tell you when you can go to work or when you can't go to work, right? Feeling that sense of entitlement that I deserve something more than my partner leads to this unequal power dynamic where one person can try to get a little more advantage, a little more opportunity to get more power and more control. I encourage you all to look up the power and control wheel. That is basically what we have on this screen, where it shows all of the different tactics and strategies that someone can use to get that power and that control. For example, intimidation. When we talk about minimizing, denying, and blaming all of the issues in the relationship on everyone else but themselves, so no accountability. Threats. For example, if you do this, it'll show me how much you love me. If you don't do this, then I'm going to hurt myself. All of these different tactics can be used to get that power, that control from someone else. And one thing we want to know about violence is that it is a learned behavior. If we grow up seeing these types of behaviors, we're more likely to repeat those behaviors, these strategies that we're talking about. The good thing about violence being a learned behavior is that it can be unlearned. So I encourage you all to be mindful about your actions. Think about how you take accountability. Think about how you behave in your friendships, in your relationships, in your connection to yourself, right? How does that make you feel? How do you define those things? And try to practice healthier behaviors. So the reason we're here, and the reason why Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month is so important, is because 1 in 3 teens experience dating violence in the United States. Out of those teens, only 33% ever speak up about that abuse. So the more we know about it, the more we talk about it, the more we can increase the chance of helping somebody out there who is experiencing abuse. It's important to know that LGBTQ plus teens are also 2 to 3 times more likely to experience abuse. So as I said, this can happen to anybody. Now, when we're talking about behaviors, right, healthy behaviors, abusive behaviors, we can talk about something called the relationship spectrum. And this is something that we really love to use to start defining what a relationship means to you, what different behaviors look like for you. Because we are all unique individuals, right? A relationship is 2 unique people coming together in their own unique way through a partnership. So, when we talk about the relationship spectrum, it shows how a relationship can go from healthy to unhealthy to abusive. And the important thing to know is that the lines between healthy and unhealthy are blurred. The lines between unhealthy and abusive are also blurred. So, when we talk about being in a healthy relationship, usually both people feel comfortable, both people feel safe. Then, in an unhealthy relationship, maybe we start feeling a little bit uncomfortable. Maybe unhealthy behaviors start happening. And when those unhealthy behaviors happen over and over and over again, to the point where we start feeling controlled, to the point where we start feeling scared, that's what lets us know we're in that abusive side of the spectrum. So we are going to do a quick activity. We're going to do a little show of hands where I'm going to give you all a situation, and I want you all to raise your hand and let me know whether you think that's healthy, unhealthy, abusive, in between. If you don't know, that's okay too. All right? Are we ready for it? Good. All right. So, scenario number 1. You feel comfortable to talk to your partner about a problem in the relationship. How many of us think that's healthy? All right. What about unhealthy? What about abusive? How many of us don't know? Okay, so I see majority of us think that's healthy, and you're absolutely right. All relationships, all friendships are going to have problems. They're going to have disagreements. That's a part of life. But if we feel comfortable and safe enough to talk to our partner about those issues, that means we have healthy communication. That means we can talk about the good and the bad without feeling scared of how someone's going to react. With that comfort of knowing they're going to meet us halfway to get through that issue together. Let's do another one. Your friend makes you feel guilty for spending time with another friend. Healthy? Unhealthy? Abusive? Don't know? Okay, all right. I love my majority here because you are correct. That is unhealthy. Anytime that someone starts making us feel bad, feel guilty for something, when they start putting us down for doing something that is absolutely healthy, for doing something that we enjoy doing, anytime someone tries to minimize our independence in our friendships, in our relationships, that's what lets us know we can be in that unhealthy side of things. Let's do one more. What if your partner lashes out every time you disagree with them? Healthy? Unhealthy? Abusive? Don't know? Okay, all right, yes. So that is definitely an abusive situation, right? Whenever someone when we're in a relationship, it's okay to feel angry, it's okay to feel frustrated, disappointed, and upset, but it's how we handle those emotions that determines whether we're being healthy, unhealthy, or abusive. And if someone is lashing out at us, insulting us, screaming at us, and making us feel scared anytime that we think differently, that's what lets us know we're in that abusive side of things. So what we want to do is practice healthy behaviors. So some healthy relationship qualities to keep in mind mainly revolve around comfort and safety, right? Where we have an equality in the friendship, in the relationship, where we have respect not only for each other, but for our beliefs, for our opinions. When we have our individuality, when we have boundaries, both physical boundaries, emotional boundaries, digital boundaries, and when we have consent. So anytime that any of these healthy relationship qualities are crossed, are pushed, are not respected, that's what can lead to abuse. And that's what we're going to talk about next. Okay, so in talking about abuse, a lot of times when we hear teen dating violence, when we hear domestic violence, we think automatically of physical abuse. We think of bruises, we think of, sometimes, not always, but that is the popular perception when it comes to abuse. However, as you can see in this slide, there are about 6 different types of abuse, and these are only the most common forms of abuse. There are actually a lot more that are not as popular just yet. So there is that emotional and verbal abuse, and that has to do with the insults, the screaming, the yelling, the threats, as well as the intimidation that we heard about from the wheel of power and control. Sometimes relationships, abusive relationships, fully stay in this emotional, verbal abuse cycle. They never make it to physical abuse. The victim never gets touched. So it's very important to remember that at times we might not be able to see the abuse happening. And that does not mean that it's not there. We also have physical abuse. This is when we can start seeing the abuse. It involves any intentional use of a physical action to intimidate the person, to cause that fear. And again, when we have fear in the relationship, that is how we know that the relationship has turned abusive. So something as simple as in the middle of an argument, the abusive partner punches a wall. That is considered physical abuse because it is an intentional use of a physical action to create fear, to cause intimidation. We then have financial abuse, which is not as well recognized. However, it is one of the most serious ones. And financial abuse is all about exerting power and control over the survivor's finances. That can look like not having access to go to work. It can also look like the abuser having full control of the finances in the household, taking all of the money away or expecting the survivor to pay all of the bills. We also have sexual abuse, which again, a lot of times happens behind closed doors, and people might not be able to recognize that that is occurring in the relationship. And for this one, I like to read the definition word for word, just so that there is a lot of clarity behind what sexual abuse means. So for this one, is any sexual activity that occurs without willing, active, unimpaired consent, such as unwanted sexual touch, sexual assault, rape, and tampering with contraceptives is also part of sexual abuse. And one of the main ways to prevent sexual abuse is to learn all that we can and to practice consent. Please, please, please look into consent, educate yourselves about consent, and spread the word about consent because it is one of the main ways to prevent this specific form of abuse. We also have stalking, which is repeatedly being watched, followed, monitored, or harassed by someone. In this specific case, it would be a partner. This can also include being harassed and monitored online, as well as receiving unwanted gifts. Finally, we have digital abuse, which we are seeing a lot these days in teens. Using technology to bully, stalk, as well as threaten and intimidate a partner. And this can be through the use of text. It can look like replying to your story with threats or humiliating comments or insults, as well as perhaps leaving comments in your account under your posts, or simply messaging you or sending you repeated friend requests, even though you are denying this person. One way to prevent or tackle digital abuse is to ensure that you are reporting that person's account, as well as blocking them. And consider telling a trusted adult that this is occurring to make sure that this person does not continue this pattern of abuse. Okay, so in order to put a more clear picture in your minds of what the different forms of abuse could look like, we have this video for you all. I'm gonna go ahead and play it. Yeah. Technical difficulties. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and skip it for now, and then hopefully we'll be able to come back to it just so that you all can take that picture with you. So now that we know the forms of abuse, it's also important to know how to recognize it. So some of the warning signs and red flags involve a partner being extremely jealous to the point that they begin to show possessiveness, as well as very quick to get serious. So there are very present mood swings, very extreme mood changes in the person, as well as they consume all of your time. So there is no freedom within the relationship to do anything that doesn't involve this person. And we know that freedom in the relationship allows for the person to nurture their relationship with themselves. So this is one of the most important red flags to keep an eye out for. We also have those humiliating insults, as well as comments, those threads coming in as signs and red flags. There's also a history of violence present. This is why it's so important to take our time when we're starting a new relationship, to get to know the person, to get to hang out with their friends, to get to hang out with their family members. Because when we do that, we're able to learn more about them and learn more about their past. Have they ever been abusive to their other friends? Have they ever been abusive to family members? Have they ever been abusive to previous partners? And we can only catch that when we're taking our time in the relationship to get to know that person. So another red flag would be trying to go through that whole beginning phase quick. We also have blaming others for their problems. So the person has issues with taking accountability, with taking responsibilities for their mistake or their actions that are hurtful to others. And then finally, we have things like constant monitoring, as well as making threats, saying things like, if you leave me, I'm going to hurt myself. If you leave me, I am going to out you. It's very important to catch those threats because they can lead to escalation and they can lead to a lot of harm. Okay, let's try this again.
Because I love you. I want to be your only guy.
Because I love you, skip class with me. Let's stay in bed today.
Because I love you, I just want to be with you so freaking much.
Because I love you.
I waited for you after Chem Lab.
You were walking with Mark.
Because I love you.
You shouldn't be hanging out with that dude.
You should know how dumb that makes me look.
I don't care if she's your lab partner.
Why do you have texts from him?
Because I love you. This number? Delete.
Because I love you. This is Jake's number.
Delete.
And Ben,
Delete.
because I love you, I should smash your phone.
I'll let you give me your password instead. Because I love you.
I will check your texts every day.
You got lucky. Because I love you.
Because I love you.
You think it's okay.
Because I love you. You understand?
Because I love you. You stop talking to your classmates. And you feel completely alone.
Because I love you. That's not love.
Okay, so in knowing those warning signs and having seen that video, which can cause a lot of different emotions, what can you do with this information? How can you make a difference
Because I love
in
you.
your community?
I want to be your only guy.
Because I love you, skip class with me.
Okay, in your community, and how can you bring this and make a difference in helping prevent teen dating violence? So if you know anybody that is experiencing this, if any of your friends come to you, if any of your children come to you letting you know that this is happening to them, it's so important to provide support as well as resources. Letting them know that they have a choice, that there's options out there for them is so important. Because as we know, a lot of times they don't believe they have that choice. We also want to make sure to not be judgmental. We want to stay away from victim blaming because abuse is never the victim's fault. We also want to encourage them to talk to others, to make that support system stronger, to connect with their community, with their friends, not just with yourself, because the greater that support system becomes, the greater they will feel and the more empowered they will feel as well. We also want to ensure that we understand we cannot rescue them. We can only be there to support and provide those resources. With all this information that you have now, you can do that for someone. You can let them know that there is all of these resources out there that are willing to offer help and support them. We have Women in Distress, which should be the first point of contact for someone experiencing abuse in their relationship. We have things like therapy, support groups, and all of these services are available to teens as well as adults. They are available to every single person experiencing abuse in their relationships. We also have a residential shelter if the person doesn't feel safe in their relationship and they need a place to go. We have that service available at WID as well. In order to access all of our services, we have a crisis line number that is 24 hours, 7 days a week, and this is that number. Feel free to take a picture of the slide. We also provided the website in case you want to give the information to someone and they want to learn more about what we do and what we have to offer. And then we also provided the state hotline, which can also be very helpful to anybody experiencing abuse. And we have more teen-specific resources available as well. So this is also a slide that you can take a picture of for your teen friends and anybody that you know that is experiencing abuse in their lives. And with that, thank you so much for your attention. We're gonna go ahead and transition into our Q&A session.
have any questions for our presenters for Women in Distress, for the Hanley Foundation, for Liz? Oh, I think Pauline here, our lovely co-chair, is passing around. Okay. We do have a question. Okay. Okay. Are there any differences between domestic violence and teen dating violence?
Great question, whoever wrote that in, thank you. Yes, there are differences between domestic violence and teen dating violence. Usually, when we talk about domestic violence, we talk about violence that can happen in the home, right? It can happen between family units, it can happen between intimate partners, usually in adulthood. When we talk about teen dating violence, we are really focusing on the dynamics between teenagers. When we talk about teen dating violence, it can be adolescents who are in a partnership together and are experiencing abuse. A lot of the different strategies are the same. It's all about power and control, but it's just specific, again, to those types of relationships, how that happens. And one thing we want to keep in mind, too, is that you do not have to be in a relationship to experience abuse. So that's when we really want to be mindful of our behaviors in our friendships as well, and really prioritize our most important relationship, which is the relationship with yourself.
Very good, thank you. Do we have any more questions from the audience? Anybody? You're good? You're giving a thumbs up? Okay, thank you. Thank you, ladies. Thank you. Oh, we have a question. So the question was if they could speak a little bit more about the different genders when it comes to abuse.
So thank you so much for this wonderful request, because usually when we have more time for this live, we do provide some information about how LGBTQ plus communities at times experience more elevated rates of dating violence. And the reason for that is because their sexuality can be used against them as one of those tactics to gain and maintain that power and that control. So someone that is in a LGBTQ plus relationship could hear threats like, if you leave me, I am going to out you. If you leave me, I am going to tell the whole world who you really are. And we also want to stay mindful that in our community, same-sex relationships and same-sex violence might not be perceived with the same seriousness that we take heterosexual violence as well. So thank you for that. Yeah, so one other thing is that we really want to emphasize abuse can happen to everybody, right? And a lot of times too, if we're that person that someone discloses that they are in an unsafe or an abusive relationship, a lot of times, one thing to keep in mind, especially, people focus on statistics a lot between men and women, but that's something I would say too when we think about gender roles, right? Sometimes individuals might have these preconceived assumptions that men can't experience abuse, or individuals who are in the LGBTQ plus community can't experience abuse the same way that a woman can, right? And so that's something that we really want to be mindful of as well, is that anyone can experience abuse, and it can happen a lot of different ways. And so whoever it is, if they do come to us and let us know that that they are experiencing danger and fear in their friendship, in their relationship, we want to take it as seriously, and we want to stay away from judgment and assumptions because it can impact anyone just as severely. Great question.
We have a couple more questions. These are really good. Is it ever okay to react to violence with violence?
Okay. I'm not here to tell you what is okay and not okay to do. For me, I would say I understand that instinct, right, of self-defense, or if someone is treating me this way, I'm going to treat them that same way right back. However, at Women in Distress, we really are against all forms of violence, and we really are all about empowering yourself to control your own behaviors, right? To change your own behaviors. So I know that, especially I talk about these with youth all the time. I know, for example, if I'm feeling angry sometimes, if I'm feeling hurt, upset, I might say things I don't mean, right? I might say more hurtful things to get someone to feel the same way I'm feeling. However, I also recognize those behaviors, right? I recognize that I am in control of how I handle my emotions, how I handle situations. There are things that are going to happen that are outside of our control. What we can control is how we react to them. So I always encourage you to take that healthier road. And it takes practice, and it's hard, and it takes a long time, and it's a process. But the more intentional we are about how we handle our behaviors, our feelings, our emotions, the healthier we will be able to be in our own future and in that connection with ourselves.
Another question is, when you know someone who is experiencing teen dating abuse, how would you go on to tell someone if the victim does not want anyone knowing about what's going on due to the threats?
That's another really wonderful question. First and foremost, if we have someone coming to us, we want to make them feel as supported as possible. At Women in Distress, we go with an empowerment-based approach. So whenever we are speaking to a survivor, whether you do this for work or you're simply trying to support a friend or a family member, we want to remember that this person in front of us might not feel like they are in control or in power of their own choices in life. So the best thing to do, if it feels safe for you, is to give them those resources, let them know the options that they have available to them. Also provide some education about the danger they find themselves in, and allow for them to make that decision for themselves, to get that empowerment from choosing what route they want to take, what path they want to take. If at some point you do feel like the person is in imminent danger, or you yourself find yourself in a situation where you feel like you are in danger, at that point it is very important to have a conversation with a trusted adult. So take some time to reflect about who is a trusted adult for you. If you had a friend in this situation, who is a person that you would go to and that you would talk to if you felt like you were not safe and your friend were not safe as well.
Thank you. Just a couple more. What are the warning signs of domestic abuse in teen relationships? And also, do you think violence can impact kids too?
I feel like we both can just jump in on this. Sure. So for the first one, in terms of the warning signs of abuse in teen relationships, Maylene had some really wonderful ones. If you remember back to the Because I Love You video, those are warning signs as well. A lot of times, one thing that we want to think about is all relationships are different. The warning signs might feel differently to you, just how safety is different for everybody. Danger can also feel different for everybody. So one thing I really encourage you all to do, which would be a huge warning sign, is anytime that you start feeling uncomfortable, right? Anytime you start feeling like you are no longer as open with your friends, with your partners, that could be a sign that you're in that unhealthy side of the relationship spectrum. And when you're constantly feeling uncomfortable, when you are constantly feeling like you're walking on eggshells, right? Whenever you have any sense of fear, that's a warning sign that lets you know that you might be in an abusive relationship, in an abusive friendship, in an abusive environment. Anytime that we feel scared, it could be of our friends, it could be of our partner, it could be that we feel scared of how they're going to react if we do something, if we don't do something. It might be that we feel scared of what they're going to say or what they're going to do if we disagree with them, if we do something that they didn't want us to do. And so anytime that fear comes into play, that's a warning sign. And it can happen in lots of different ways. It can be extreme or it can be really subtle. So really take time to check in with yourself, with your emotions. Really be introspective about how you're feeling in that relationship, in that friendship, and with that person, to really think about if you are going towards that unhealthy, abusive route. Okay, so amazing. I couldn't add anything to that. The second question was, do you think violence can impact kids too? Absolutely. As we mentioned in the beginning, violence, dating violence, domestic violence can impact absolutely anybody. It can happen to just anyone. Domestic violence does not discriminate. And we also spoke to how violence, specifically intimate partner violence, is a learned behavior. And the reason for that is because usually the person is exposed to that dynamic, to that abusive cycle at home. As they are growing up, they saw it happen to their parents or their caregivers, and that impacts them as children as well. So at Women in Distress, we also offer services like therapy, support groups to the children of our survivors as well.
Great, thank you ladies so much. We have one last question, and I think I'm going to try to answer this one just to see, but because it's funny. So it's, how do you put yourself in your partner's position in an argument? And I was actually having a conversation today with a therapist about, speaking about this event, we're talking about healthy relationships, so what are some tips or things like that you may have? And she said, what's really interesting is that sometimes even in like a relationship with a significant other, or if I'm having this disagreement with my spouse, it's really important to actually like look at that person when you're disagreeing with them, and even if there's a way that you can also just like physically connect, whether it's holding their hand, whether it's just, like, a pinky or something to like physically just talk to one another, look each other in the eyes, and just speak clearly about what is on your mind and what is it that, is bothering you, so that you can have a conversation about that. So yeah.
One little thing. One more thing I would say in terms of like communication, especially when we're upset, when we're disagreeing, when we're frustrated, a lot of times it's really easy to project everything that's bothering us onto other people. You're so frustrating. You're doing this that's really bothering me. You. What I would suggest is changing all of our you statements to I statements. I feel frustrated because of this. I feel upset because of this. Instead of saying you're making me upset, you're the one that's frustrating me, I'm the one that feels this. I'm taking responsibility for how I feel, what I need, and how I want to move forward. So that way we're taking that responsibility and both people can address that disagreement from both sides instead of at each other.
Great, thank you ladies so much. Let's give them a round of applause. Joanne and Amy, thank you ladies so much. And just one more comment from one of the audience members is, I don't have any questions, but thank you for giving the school information and spreading awareness. You're welcome. So thank you to all those that were here. So again, just, with our wonderful presenters, with Liz, thank you Liz, who reminded us to be mindful of what you're grateful for. Smile, be grateful. Thank you to the Hanley Foundation for reminding us that we do not need alcohol to be cool. You need your own self-esteem, confidence, courage, and to believe in yourself to be great. And to Women in Distress, again, thank you for informing us on healthy relationships and teen dating violence, and helping us learn to know what is abuse, and if something just doesn't feel right, then it's probably not right. So thank you again for all your questions. Thank you to our members here. And with that, what we're going to do now is bring up Jenna to the stage because she's looking at me like we have something else that we want to put on. So we're basically coming to like the end of our presentations, but we still have some more giveaways. We still have some fun Zumba outside. Some of the people that helped put on this event, we had to take a photo also. We don't want you guys to leave without a photo. And yes, so Jenna, come on up. What do you want?
Hello everyone, I'm Jenna Stein. I'm the liaison for Youth Action Team, which is the action team that put together today's event. I want to quickly thank Alina Shaw, our moderator for today and MC, and also to let you know that thank you for being here because the fun is about to begin. And right before the fun begins, we just ask you to do, it's really quick, 6-question survey. You can take out your phone, scan the QR code. I'm also going to hand out some flyers. If you don't want to do it now, you can do it at home. After you submit the anonymous 6-question survey, there's also resources from today's event that you could get 24/7. So it's especially good for all you parents out there, really important to get that. So without further ado, I'm going to say you could get the QR code, you could do it now or do it at home. And we're going to head outside for Zumba, and I'm going to ask all speakers to stay here. We're going to take a quick picture. So we're going to do the quick survey and then Zumba, and then we have over 10 prizes to give.
Yes, stay for the prizes. Thank you again. Thank you to all our presenters. Thank you Hollywood Hills High School for having us. And you are dismissed to your own way.
And also don't forget your community service forms.
Important, see a grown-up person outside that can sign your form for your community service hours, all right? Okay.